Wait, what the oh, what's that? Oh my god! Error in the effect of shape mask couldn't... They didn't even render the... They didn't even render the movie right! Hey everybody, I'm Sammy Gonzalez, aka the Mexcellence, and welcome to Mex Ain't Seen It. Now, this is a derivative show off of another show I used to do on another website, another YouTube channel, but the same concept is at hand. So, if you guys don't know who I am, here's what you need to know. I graduated with a film degree, film and media studies at the University of California, Santa Barbara, and I did not see a lot of movies. I mean, the other show I did had over 125 episodes of movies I haven't seen, like, I haven't seen The Godfather still. I was supposed to do it then. That was usually my go-to answer there. But movies such as Back to the Future or Jurassic Park. I don't know why I'm looking over here. But you can go find those in the archives. And this right here is a continuation of this. Not only for old movies, but I guess... the first episode we're starting on, as you saw maybe in the title, for home movies, home theater, home releases. This is on Amazon Prime, and of course we are talking about Loqueesha. Now, if you've never heard of Loqueesha, good, because that means you have good friends and they don't tell you about nonsense. Me, on the other hand, this was like a big thing in my friends group where this movie came around, and movie critics and movie nerds and geeks and fans and stuff have been going crazy over this because if I look right here at I have to have the description here. If you go off the Wikipedia page, Loqueesha is an upcoming, it's now released, independent film produced, written, directed, and starring Jeremy Saville about a white man, Saville, who takes on the identity of an African-American woman to host a radio talk show. Now, writer, director, producer, starring, he's the alpha and the omega of this situation. Now, a lot of people got upset about the premise of this movie, with good reason. A white guy pretending to be an African-American woman for a radio show, giving out advice with a stereotypical black voice. Awful idea. But everyone was really quick to be super judgmental about it, and I understand why. Hear me out here. So, with this movie, this premise, I'm kind of all about, and here's my reasoning. In the 90s, I was a child of the 90s. I'm born in 1990. I'm right there on the sucker. They had the most outrageous premises for movies, okay? Juwanna Man. I don't know if that was 90s. That's early 2000s perhaps, but Juwanna Man. A guy is not good enough / I forgot, he got suspended from the NBA, so he has to join the WNBA by cross-dressing. You had movies that, on paper, didn't sound fun at all. Hey, let's follow the brother of a political candidate as he messes up everything, Black Sheep. Let's follow a brake pad salesman on the road to sell brake pads, Tommy Boy. Adam Sandler movies, how about we take an adult millionaire and put him in elementary school? How about we make a hockey player a golfer? These are premises. Okay, let me add Laquisha in there. A white guy is a radio host as a black woman. To me, those don't sound too different. And what I'm saying is, the premise, I think, could be good. I think the idea could be amazing. The problem is, who is Jeremy Saville? He's not Adam Sandler. He's not Chris Farley. He's not whoever the hell Juwanna Man is. This guy does not have the credentials. When I heard of this premise, and here's how I'm going to change your mind on the premise alone, because some of you are probably shouting at me right now saying, this premise is terrible. Imagine if Neil Brennan and Dave Chappelle did this show, or did this movie, did this idea. Neil Brennan was the co-writer of Chappelle's show. If you watch his stand-up, he can do racist jokes. He can do race jokes very funny. Dave Chappelle is the best at it. And when he knew he was going too far, he quit his damn $1 million show. So you kind of have to take a little bit of honesty within yourself, within the subject you're talking about, and you can make good comedy out of it. I'm saying there's an idea here that would be good. Jeremy Saville is no Dave Chappelle, is no Neil Brennan. So I'm excited to see what comes of this, because if you think I'm expecting this movie to be good, you're absolutely wrong. There's a difference between thinking the idea is good and thinking the movie's gonna be good, or the execution's gonna be good, or the execution's gonna be super not racist. It's totally probably gonna be racist based off the trailer I saw. And with that, let me go ahead and refresh myself, and I'll refresh you guys just a little bit for the trailer for 2019's Loqueesha. Here, where do I gotta press? Hold on, let me go ahead. I think I'm fading, because it's going to be in post, so, ooh.
Like the whole city has Laquisha mania.
I am Loqueesha, officer.
What was that?
I think I might be a black woman trapped in a white man's body.
On second thought, maybe I was a little bit wrong. I hadn't seen it since I first saw it. This is awful. This is bad. This is going to be bad. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch Loqueesha in its entirety, live react to it, and in a moment, we're going to just skip right to the review, and you'll see me right here in a few seconds with the review, and you will see my reaction throughout that review. So I'll see you guys on the other side, and sit tight. I'll be right back. Whew. All right, everybody. I'm back from watching Loqueesha. I went and got some pizza. I wrote some notes. I had to take a breather because that was unlike anything I've ever seen before. To say that was a funny movie would be a lie, but to say that was an experience, absolutely not. So this movie, from a production, let's start with the production side, because I'm going to go kind of down the plot of the story, but the production side, to start there, is just the worst. There is just so much wrong with not just the production, but with just the filmmaking itself. I mean, it looks like a mixture of like a daytime television show, like a kid's YouTube channel. It looks like a mixture of like a stage play at sometimes because of the way it's framed, the way things are set up. And I think some of the biggest takeaways that I got from this movie was that there was just no understanding of set design. Like when you open up in the movie, it's literally just like an open bar / restaurant. Clearly it's a restaurant, but there's these big windows that go up into the street. And you can see that there's big windows, but for some reason there's just a giant curtain covering the daylight. That's not how bars work. Wait. Are they like, wait, we're closed for the evening. We have a movie we're trying to record, so they just curtain it off and then that's how people walk in? Jesus Christ. And then she busts through the curtains of the bar, which is something that no one does, first and foremost. You have the premise, Joe is good at advice. He's a bartender. He has an ex-wife and he has a son who is apparently really gifted and talented. So he has to be sent to this private, super smart school where it's like $13,000 a semester or something like that. And the ex-wife is like, you have to pay for this. You have to be a good father to our son, even though he seems pretty cool with his son. In order to kind of execute all of this, they just use the most haphazard, they use the most just indescribable cutting of budget, cheap ways to express all of this stuff. There's like continuity issues in the beginning. He takes the kid from his ex-wife to take care of for the day. Oh my god. This is like the worst advice. And then it cuts to him at the bar giving more advice, and then it cuts back to him dropping his kid off as if the kid were at the bar, like doing something, cleaning dishes.
See you next week, Jim.
Wait a minute, where was this kid? Was this kid in the back? Hold on. Was that kid in the background the entire time? No, his old barkeep was. Wait, what the hell? Oh no. It all puts on this cheap layer on top. And like I told you at the top of the show, to execute a premise like this, which I think could work in the rarest of circumstances, you can't have that layer on top. You can't have that layer of dookie on top of it. It's just not gonna work, and it's not setting you up for success in the slightest. So she goes, hey, you should be a radio personality. You should go ahead and sign up for this. It's like a job wanted. We need podcasters. We need somebody to do this radio show. You should sign up for it. You'd fit. I love your advice. He goes, sure. He gets declined. because he's just boring white guy. Woo. And so the ad says minorities and women, or minorities or women. So he's eating breakfast in defeat. He's like, yeah, I didn't get the radio show. And then he sees what I assume is supposed to be like a Jerry Springer type show. That's how he met.
Laquisha. Hey, Loqueesha. My name's Ted.
No, you can't. No, no. I'm not going to sit here and say, that black television looks great. I'm going to become black television too. Or should I say black radio? No. And he's just like, you know what? That's a great idea. They don't want me. They want, which it is implied that they want trash because it's a trashy TV show that's on the television. It's like garbage. It's like nobody's watching it in the daytime, but it's on because it's cheap, it's violent, it's loud, it's braggadocious, all the worst stereotypes of black people. And he's like, that's what I need to be, that's what I want, that's what the people want. And then he immediately invents the Laquisha voice. Like, he just has that in his repertoire. It's just all bad all the time. And he doesn't realize that. And the fact that he doesn't realize that so early is the whole crux of this movie. And it's just all downhill from there. There was a moment there where I looked at the clock and I was like, wait, how far? We are 13 minutes in. Now, there's many problems, but amongst the manyest of all problems is that, okay, this premise is that he is selling a black woman voice so well and the personality so well that people on radio will believe him. The problem is the accent isn't even that good. It's not even good at all. He's not like an Aries Spears. He's not like a Jim Carrey. He's not like a Robin Williams type who can do different voices. Frank Caliendo. He's not that guy. He is... What's his name? I don't even know his name. What's his name? On top of all that, there's like this awful dubbing of the word cell phones that vexed me.
To see you're working so hard, Joe.
I got a smartphone.
But you said you hate smartphones.
I was wrong.
What? What are they dubbing over? They're saying cell phones, but they couldn't say smartphones. A cell phone would have been fine in this situation. This whole big, awful production up leads us to where he submits the application for a Loqueesha radio show, and he gets the show. But he can't do it because obviously he's a white man. So he becomes Laqueesha. And by becoming Laquisha, he requests that he should be able to have all this privacy, and he's able to go in the Shroud of Dark and the Shroud of Night to go and do this radio show. And the whole reason he has this show in the first place is because a knockoff Bob Odenkirk laid out all the reasons why radio is dying.
This is what's going to make us relevant again. She's going to get people tuning in. Whether you love her or hate her, she's going to get people talking.
Okay, get her in here.
It's so overselling the concept that this white guy is such a good black woman. It's to the point where like none of this is believable, even if we ignored the believability from the premise itself and said, you know what, maybe I can believe this. Maybe I can believe that this guy could do a black woman voice, can do all this stuff. If you took it at face value, you said, you know what, I'm gonna ignore the proper prejudices and histories that this movie is ignoring, and I'm gonna just say, you know what, maybe he can make me believe that Laquisha is a true black woman. And then it proceeds not only with that layer of filth I mentioned earlier, but with the fact that you have this white radio executive, this white guy just going like, oh yeah, this is what the people will love. The people will love a black, vivacious woman. They'll love her, they'll hate her, and it's ratings for all of us. So it's like, clearly, there's another element of this white guy exploiting this black woman who's also a white guy. It's like this weird layer of exploitation that the movie is doing, but not commenting on. Completely destroying the premise once again. Like I said, if you have the premise and you do it right, this one is very hard. You could maybe make something of this. And they just decide, nope, we're just going to be so oblivious. Oh yeah, I forgot. He finds a black friend, Dwayne Perkins, and he says, yeah, you should be my producer. I'm going to be a black woman. And he's just like, okay, that's good with me, chief.
This is not a crime. It's theater.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's theater. You remember Amos and Andy? Plenty of things wrong with that, but anyway. Also, the black friend is a producer. And then the movie just decides, you know what? This Laquisha is gold. Laquisha is going to be the next big thing, baby. Not just on radio, but on real life stuff. And so real life stuff being us in the real world. Like, we are all going to love Laquisha as individuals here in, like, the physical world, not in the movie world. And they commit so hard to that the next, like, 40 minutes of the movie is just Laquisha talking.
My name is Loqueesha, and we gonna be talking.
This is the first part of the scene, and it's already tired. Like, this is the first show, the first line of the show, and this gimmick is already done. So if you thought the trailer was underselling you, or saying like, oh, they're just doing that for shock value, or, oh, they're just putting the Laquisha parts in, and then it's just gonna be the white guy dealing with some of those circumstances, dealing with some of those problems that arise, that would be enough. That would be like, yeah, okay, he does Laquisha like 3-4 times, but then the rest of the movie is getting into, like, the repercussions. That's the right word I'm looking for. The repercussions of him doing this and the harm it's causing, but the hope it's instilling in people, like, it kind of goes overboard with. But it never does that. It just goes, I'm Laquisha, I'm gonna be Laquisha all the time. And they just revel in it. And it's just one after the other of Laquisha giving this advice. And it's not even very good advice. The advice is just surface level at best. But they're selling it as if it's this, like, elaborate life revelation that you're gonna get by listening to Laquisha. It's just the same old girlfriend advice over and over and over again. And at a certain point, I just got sick of it. But I'm gonna be a sassy black girl and talk about it, you see? That was more Bill Cosby. You see how I have those problems. And then, like, a white supremacist comes on. Not even a white supremacist, but he's like, you black woman, you're so racist. You're reverse racist. And then they have a big old talk about how white people are feeling disenfranchised and that by hating black women, they can feel better about themselves. But they really need to pick up themselves by their own bootstraps. And it's supposed to be this big emotional moment. And it's not. It's just a white guy as a black woman lecturing a white guy about hating black women. It's weird.
You is still unemployed and bitter.
Cause you ain't the king of everything.
That's not fair.
Message.
It ain't fair that you stand in your own way.
He's making valid points, but he's doing it as a black woman stereotype, and it's just confusing. It hurts my brain. Well, Laquisha is starting to get popular. She might have to start making appearances. Well, you're a white guy. You can't make the appearances. So then they hire a black woman to play Laquisha. And she's like, okay, I'm all right with that. I'll let you pretend to be a white guy. Like, there's nobody in this world that's like, hey, white guy, maybe you shouldn't be a black woman. Maybe you shouldn't do this at all. She's out of the mic range, so she started echoing.
You can hear me sing.
So now you have Jeremy Saville, the white guy, Laquisha, Dwayne Perkins, and Mara Hall, and they're the Laquisha trio, and they're going to bookstores, and they're doing signings, and Laquisha becomes this big old thing, and then he receives a call from his not girlfriend, the African-American woman from the beginning, who's like, look, I took advice from you, Laquisha, because you sound like a guy who gave me some good advice to break up with my boyfriend. I got back with him, then I broke up with him, but then I realized I kind of like this guy. And the guy, of course, is Joe, the guy who's playing Laquisha giving advice about his own situation. So Laquisha is like, oh, maybe you should give him a chance. And then she does. So she, like, not only calls him, is like, hey, what are you up to? I broke up with my boyfriend. Come get some of this chon. Whoa, she's about to make sweet love to him. So they're ready to do the nasty. She's got him over. She's got drinks ready. She's nibbling on his ear, grabbing his crotch, doing all this stuff. She is ready to go. And then he just starts breaking out in Loqueesha.
Oh, you don't know Joe.
So funny.
Oh my God.
Too. Get some!
Are you making fun of me because I'm black?
Yes! Yes!
No, I am not mocking you.
Yes, he is! And then it introduces, like, a couple of scenes where now Laquisha is like this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of situation.
I am Loqueesha, officer. I am her. Shut up!
Okay, buddy. Are you sure you only had one drink?
But it's playing it like he's having like a legit mental break where he can't differentiate between Loqueesha and his own self. And so then that comes into a culmination where he goes on air with two mics in front of him. One is as Loqueesha, and then one is as himself.
How you doing, Joe? I'm good. No, you ain't. People good don't call Laquisha. Fair enough. I'm the fairest of them all. I'm Snow Black. Now, what's your problem? I'm conflicted.
Oh. And I'll be honest, it was ambitious for him to try to do this really heavy-handed scene as Loqueesha, as himself, going back and forth. But one, ambition doesn't mean that you should do it. I'd be ambitious if I tried out for the Olympics, but that doesn't mean I'm going to make it. That doesn't mean I'm going to be close to the attempts that should make it, but ambitious nonetheless. And so, like, Loqueesha's like, maybe you should do the right thing. That's Alabama. That's not even black, but I'll stick with it. You should probably do the right thing and stop all this nonsense before you get sent to the loony bin. And he does. He's like, all right, I need to stop doing this. I need to stop being Loqueesha. But then there's like 20 minutes of the film left, so they're like, okay, well, we gotta do Laquisha just a little bit longer. I said, you know what, all right, man. He shouldn't be Laquisha. He found the error of his ways. It's not the black woman on the outside, it's the black woman on the inside. And that one has to be put away because it's racist. There's other reasons he means and he says, but it's racist. So with that emotional heaviness, they move on to the next scene, which is the call immediately after him talking to himself, I believe. And it's a woman that's ready to jump off a bridge to kill herself. Now, you saw it in the trailer. It's actually in the movie. They actually continue with that scene.
I'm on a bridge above the river, and I'm gonna jump.
Well, thanks for calling. Enjoy your jump.
What?
You said you jumped.
I am.
I'm gonna jump from this green screen. Come on, this is supposed to be an engaging moment. And it would be kind of heartfelt if the scene before it kind of worked itself in a way that was a little more heartfelt and actually pulled off what he was trying to do. And any chance it might have had the slimmest, I don't have anything slim, the slimmest of margins, that little bit it had, gone. Absolutely gone. They couldn't pull it off. And so now we're just stuck in trying to finish this movie. And even the movie itself doesn't know where it wants to go. So before getting to the conclusion, which we already established, which is cancel the Laquisha show, he has to talk to his son, talk about the special school he's going to. His son don't even like the goddamn school.
Get to do a lot of different things. Why?
So then now, yes, Laquisha is now over. So he goes on air, says, bye, I'm Laquisha, bye. And then, was Amara Hill, I believe her name is, the stand-in woman for Loqueesha, starts to blackmail him, saying, like, if you quit this if you don't get us our deal with Oprah, yes, they mention Oprah's name. Oprah? Sincerely, Oprah. Not Oprah's management team, not any of that. They wouldn't call the radio station, they would call, or rather email, love Oprah. I'm so confused at this point. She blackmails him, is what I'm saying. She blackmails him. She ends up taking over the show after like a small hiatus in which Joe, the white guy, is like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is wrong. I want to be me again. And so she does the show, and she just f***s it all up.
I'm the greatest power for Loqueesha!
I am the...
What the?
Laquisha?
Yes, sir.
Not for long.
Oh no! And I think the worst part about this whole thing is that this woman, who is an actual black woman giving advice, is portrayed as like the person in this movie. Like, she starts, like I said, she's yelling at people, she's calling them stupid, hanging up on people for no reason. It's like the movie is saying, you are not a good enough black woman than the white man being the black woman. You are the inferior black woman in this situation, and the other black woman is a white man. It is baffling, the statements that they're making in between, like, in the little subtext of what they're actually writing. Because the text in their mind is saying, oh yeah, it's not about color, it's not about race, it's about love, everybody. But then the way they're expressing that love, everybody, is just through the most racist and like super biased thinking and super biased show of racism and misogyny even.
It was never about race or gender or fame or It's about telling the truth straight from your heart. Circus, a platform for your personal power play, and
So Joe goes on the air and he's like, well, if you forgive me, you can have the show with Joe. You can have Loqueesha show. I can play the character Loqueesha, or you can take me off radio forever. So you got the poll is live on Facebook. Vote away. Vote stops at midnight. 20% of them want him gone. They want him gone. And hot damn, it's 40-40. Laquisha gets a show and Joe gets a show, everybody. Yeah. Equality. So yay, everything is answered, everything is okay, everybody's happy. What could possibly go wrong? Oh wait, that's right. I'm supposed to have a black girlfriend. Joe has a black girlfriend. Joe gets confronted by his not black, not girlfriend about what the this was all about. Why were you pretending to be a black woman? What are you doing? How the hell did you get away with this? And why has nobody murdered you? And the best part about that black girlfriend is that she says everything. Everything in writing and in acting and performing in the movie. Diegetically, what is wrong with the movie? And so I'm going to introduce my criticism portion of the movie with what she's saying about his character Loqueesha, which starts as, this is the most racist ever. What the hell were you thinking?
You lied. You pretended to be somebody else. You think all black women sound like that? Yo, what up? How you doing? You're a racist and a misogynist.
Yeah.
it was just a
Theatrical device.
Like, it's super racist. We all know this. She says, yes, dude, this is super racist. This is very, very racist. And he goes, you know what? I don't think so. I'm a white man, and I'm doing a voice of a stereotypical black woman, and you're wrong as a black woman for saying that my black woman is wrong. That's the end of the movie. He doesn't say it as directly. He just like flips it on her in a way that really doesn't really flip it on her, but because of movie logic, she's like, oh, I see your point. You're right. And then they kiss, and then that's the end of the movie. How are they going to wrap this up?
That's what I was going to say.
What? Or so I thought, or actually, no, not even the way, how I thought. That's what apparently the director or the editor thought of this movie, because the editor forgot to edit this movie. Wait, what the Oh, what's that? Error in... Oh my god! Are you kidding me? That's an error. That's like an editing error. Error in the effect of shape mask. Could it... They didn't even render them... They didn't even render the movie right. They didn't even like watch it all the way to the end. We're a minute 30 left to go, and they what the Please tell me if you watch this on Amazon Prime that you got this message too. 13716. See if it's there for you guys, because that's like, yeah, that's something in like Adobe, Adobe Premiere Pro or some. Oh my god! It was like a whole like second. And that's how you have to take this movie. This is the most racist movie with the best intentions. And I can tell that none of the things they're doing here is ill-spirited or mean or nasty or trying to make fun of black people explicitly. But implicitly, and all the stuff in between the lines is just racist, misogynist, damn near white supremacist at certain points, even though that's not the message that they want to give. When you do something like this, you have to have some sort of investment in it. You have to have some truth to it, and you have to have some involvement in it. You have to have some understanding of what you're talking about. Jeremy Saville doesn't have the context. He doesn't have the life experience to speak on any of the things he's trying to speak on. Yeah, there's a picture of him with Damon Wayans, or is it Marlon? I forget which Wayans. There's a Wayans brother has a picture with them. But the point is, you have to understand your subject matter, and they just don't. He just doesn't. And the only real problem is that the comedy you get from this comedy film is the misunderstanding of your own premise and the misunderstanding of the thing that you want to show love for. I really can't do this anymore. God, I can't listen to this accent anymore, dude. I don't have a rating system yet. I'm not gonna do the old website of what I used to do, where it's like, oh, it's a word. This is 1 out of 10 stars, man. This is 1 out of 10. It would be 0 out of 10. It's very close to being 0 out of 10. You watch it out of curiosity. You might find some things you enjoy about it, but even if you did, you wouldn't admit it on the internet because you would get crucified. And in admitting that there were some parts that made me laugh, sure, I'll give it the 1 point. Like I said, I'm giving it a 1 point out of 10, a 10%, if you will, because there was at some points, this movie made me laugh, but the rest of it was just fascinating to watch based off of how absolutely misguided, racist, sexist, how fascinating it was that it did all of those things, yet meant none of it.
What's your problem?
For mom and dad, for mom and dad, your mom and dad are gonna be ashamed of this. 1 star is all it's getting out of 10. Chalk it up to the board. Big board, everybody. Gotta invent that soon. But that's it for me, everybody. That's my rating. That's my review. If you like what you saw, go ahead, hit the like button, hit it again, hit it a 3rd time. It's the triple like, return of the triple like. Go ahead and leave a comment. Go ahead and subscribe down below. A lot of new things coming next month. Next month, I've committed to actually getting a lot more content out. So if you want to see me review an old movie, review new movies, review anime, television, let me know down below. I really want to know, and I'll really read and comment and respond back to most of them because, like I said, trying to build up the Mexcellence brand again and make it bigger than it was before. So you know what? That's it for me. I'm Sammy Gonzalez, aka The Mexcellence. You can follow me at all social media at The Mexcellence. That's TheMexcellence. You can find me wherever, at all places. And if you miss me and you're only wondering, you're never on YouTube, you never do anything on YouTube. Well, I'm on Twitch every night, not Sunday, Monday through Thursday. I'm on Twitch Monday through Thursday, roughly around 9:30, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're on the Pacific, that's about 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 2 hours before that. So anyway, thank you for watching. I love you guys. Come on back, and I'll see you next time. Just remember, in the interim, to always be Mexcellent, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody. Bye, YouTubes. Gotta say bye to the YouTubes and fade out to graphics. I haven't made it yet.
And make sure you shake your shimmy sham.
Make sure you shake your shimmy sham.